Hello guys, welcome back to Current News. I'm your host Chris Davis, and today we are going to do a TV review of Wanda Vision. So I've already seen episodes 1 through 4, and I'll be going through those episodes. I've been meaning to do a review of each one, but um, I don't think they're going to get much views if I try to do it now, so I'm just going to do 1 through 4 right now, and then I will do my best to do the episodes by themselves. So with that, let's get into the review. So WandaVision, Disney Plus's first Marvel streaming TV show. What did I think of the first episode? I thought that it was pretty interesting. So it's not in color on the first episode. Everything is gray, black and white, gray, like in the 1950s, and that was the setting that the first episode was in. You see Wanda Maximoff and Vision living this peaceful suburban life in the 1950s setting, and Wanda is acting like this perfect image of a housewife in the 1950s, and Vision is acting like the perfect version of a man in the 1950s as well. So they see the calendar and they see that there's a heart on there and it's something important, but neither of them remember what. And it turns out later on in the episode that Vision's boss is coming over for dinner because he's looking to promote Vision, but he wants to go to Vision's home to figure out more about him. During the episode, we're introduced to this person, this neighbor called Agnes. She lets on that she knows more than everyone else thinks, if that makes sense. She looks like she knows more than she does. That's the best way I can describe it. She tries to help Wanda get this dinner ready for Vision's boss, and Wanda has to kind of get rid of her. And while the boss and his wife comes over to visit Vision and Wanda, we see at the end of the episode Vision's boss, Mr. Hartman, he's choking, and then his wife keeps repeatedly telling Wanda to stop it. And then we see time freeze, and Vision helps the boss who's choking by phasing through his throat and getting whatever is stuck in his throat. And that's where we're led on to believe that this world isn't all it seems. You can tell that because everything's grayscaled, and Wanda is in 1950s clothing, but you can really tell that things aren't as they appear once that incident happens. And then at the end of the episode, we see that Wanda and Vision are being watched by someone on a TV screen, and I will get to that later on in the video. Now, episode 1 was really good. People say that it's a good thing that Disney Plus, Marvel released these episodes 1 through 2 at the same time, just to get people hooked. I was actually hooked on the first episode because I was really interested in this life that Wanda has with Vision. So I was hooked on that alone and trying to figure out why is this all happening. And we see at the end of the episode someone is watching them through a TV screen, and we'll figure out who that person is later on in the video. So going on into episode 2. So episode 2 goes into the 1960s, and they are doing a talent show. Wanda and Vision are doing a talent show. Wanda decides to go ahead with go with Agnes. Go with Agnes to this woman party, neighborhood party, something like that. And she has to get to know this neighborhood leader if she wants to get ahead, because she has all the connections into the neighborhood. And Agnes says that you have to get this person to like you, Wanda. Wanda goes to the neighborhood party and stuff. She meets Monica Rambeau, but she's not called Monica. She's called by some other name at the time. And she gets to know her. And then we see when Wanda is speaking to the neighborhood leader that we see this strange thing. This radio is... Someone is talking through this radio asking Wanda, who's doing this to you? Letting us know that things aren't what they seem around here. And we also see in this episode a red toy helicopter. Everything's gray. Keep in mind everything is gray, but we see this red helicopter with a sword symbol on it. That's just a hint that something strange is going on. Also, we do get a hint of an overarching villain in this Wanda Vision series. You go to other YouTubers reviewing this, they all say like Mephisto. So he's supposed to be like the devil in Marvel Comics, and there's like small references to him throughout the Wanda Vision like episode. So in some of the commercials, when they do the toaster over, when they show you the toaster oven commercial, if you flip it around, it shows 666, which is supposed to be the mark of the beast. In episode 2, the neighborhood leader is saying that the devil's in the details, and Agnes says that's not the only place that he's in. So that is like a reference like to Mephisto and Agnes. Other YouTubers have pointed out that Agnes is supposed to be a alias for Agatha Harkness in the Marvel comics. She's supposed to be a servant to Mephisto. And Agatha Harkness, who's going by Agnes, may be manipulating Wanda into creating this alternate reality, this bubble. In episode 3, we figure out a big clue as to why Wanda is doing this. Before we get to episode 3, one other thing in episode 2, we see a beekeeper coming out of a manhole, and he has a sword symbol on his back. And Wanda says no, and she somehow is able to redo the moment. And they don't see that beekeeper, but we saw a helicopter with a sword symbol. We've seen a beekeeper with a sword symbol. Now we go into episode 3 when we see colors. So everything is like in color now, the 1970s. Kind of has this Brady Bunch kind of feel to it. And Wanda is expecting to have like children. So Wanda, with her powers, made herself like pregnant. And in episode 3, it's all about her like having these children. And when she has these children, her powers start making things happen, like blackouts, vacuum cleaners, and other inanimate objects start moving. And I think her name, Monica Rambeau, I think it goes by Gladys. Like, she comes in and she noticed that everything's weird, but it'll make more sense when I get into episode 4. But she's questioning like what's going on here. I'm sure there's like an explanation, and then Wanda has one of the children named Tommy. Then Vision stops by with the doctor, and then she has the other one, Billy, and that's supposed to be a reference to Wiccan and the other one's a speedster. I don't remember his name, but it's supposed to be like two of Wanda's children who are in the comics, Wiccan and like some other name, Tommy and Billy. So Tommy has Wanda's powers, Billy has Quicksilver's powers. So they're supposed to be her children in the comics. But like in the comics, complicated things happen to her kids. They were willed by Wanda's powers, so they weren't real. They were just illusions, and like in the comics, they're like stripped away like by Mephisto and all that kinds of stuff. But that's what Wanda Vision episode 3 is referencing to. And then in episode 3, when Vision is taking the doctor back, Gladys is talking to Wanda, and Wanda mentions that she used to be a twin, and Gladys said, "Your brother was killed by Ultron." And then Wanda said, "What did you say?" And like everything changes, the screen ratio's changing, and then like the next thing like you see is like Gladys or Monica Rambeau has been like knocked out of the dome, and Vision asks, "Hey, where did she go?" And Wanda said, "Oh, she had to leave early." And Vision has been picking up on things. He realized that this world isn't all that it seems. Earlier in episode 3, he questions about things going on in this town, and Wanda just completely reverses the moment. And then before he enters the house, after dropping the doctor off, he sees Agnes and his neighbor. And the neighbor wants to tell him something, but Agnes forces him to keep his mouth shut. So Vision has been getting suspicious. Whenever he talks to Wanda about anything that's out of the ordinary, she changes the moment, and Vision acts back in character again. We also see for a moment that Vision, how he was like when he was dead. We see that for a moment, and we kind of know why Wanda is creating this illusionary world in Avengers Infinity and Avengers Endgame. Like, she lost Vision, she lost some of the other Avengers, so she's really alone. So she's using this dome, this illusionary world, as a coping mechanism because she's lost so much in the real world, like her brother, her home country, her second family, the Avengers. She lost the one, like the love of her life, Vision. So you really feel sorry for her, and you see why, you understand why, especially if you've been following all the Marvel cinematic films, why Wanda is creating this illusionary world. It's like a coping mechanism, because the real world, she's all alone and she's lost so much, and she wants to forget what has happened. In episode 4, we get to see Sword. So Sword, in the comics, they look at internet, space, threats from space, but it looks like in the MCU. They're looking at humans who are a threat to the world, and so they are observing Wanda. And while in episodes 1 through 3, you were watching Wanda's story, in episode 4, you're seeing what S.W.O.R.D. was doing while Wanda was going through each of these episodes, episodes 1, 2, and 3. We finally see Darcy. Darcy was the one who was watching Wanda and Vision through the television. They also pointed out something about why are there hexagons showing in the images? What are the hexagons referenced to? They also get a character profile of the characters who are in Wanda's fictitious world. Everyone has a profile. Everyone's a real person. But the only one they don't have a profile on is Agnes, which leads us to believe that she's a magic user and she knows more than she's letting on, and she's most likely Agatha Harkness, the servant of Mephisto. So we see S.W.O.R.D. trying to investigate. When Monica Rambeau first showed up on the scene, she put a helicopter through the dome, and that helicopter that Monica put through that dome is the same helicopter that Wanda found in episode 2 that was red and that had the S.W.O.R.D. logo on it. And we also saw a S.W.O.R.D. agent try to go underground into Wanda's realm. And when he passed through that barrier, instead of the sophisticated S.W.O.R.D. equipment and costume he had on, it switched to a beekeeper costume, and the line that was keeping him tethered to the actual MCU universe, that had changed into a jump rope. And we also saw Jimmy Woo. He was the one trying to communicate with Wanda through the radio. He was the one saying in episode 2, Wanda, can you hear me? Who's doing this to you? So we got to see S.W.O.R.D. and we see that they are observing what Wanda is doing. So episodes 1 through 4, honestly I can say if they just released episode 1, that would have hooked me right there, because I personally would have been interested into figuring out why is Wanda and Vision here? Why is everything black and white? What is Westview? I would have been hooked with that alone. But they released episode 1 through 2 for us regular people, and I heard that the big reviewers got episodes 1 through 3. So they were really spoiled. But I liked these episodes. Episode 1 through 2 were really good. Episode 3, I liked it. Episode 4, I probably didn't like it as much as the 1 through 3, but it was still good. It's expanding the story. We know that S.W.O.R.D. is the one who is observing Wanda and Vision. We have an explanation for the beekeeper and the colored helicopter. It's S.W.O.R.D. We have been introduced to Monica Rambeau, who is Photon, or Spectrum in the comic books. So this series is really good, and I'm really interested in seeing episode 5. So that's all we have for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Have you seen Wanda Vision? Have you seen episodes 1 through 4? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like what I had to share, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with all your friends, and all of you have a great day.